Right guys, so welcome to the tutorial for question number 5. In this case, we're dealing with mortgages and financing. So what is the type of the decision problem? In this case, it is to minimize the objective and to get the lesser cost. And then what are the payoffs? Let's see the options. Interest rates, that is not what we're looking for. Number of years, that does not make any sense. So the answer would be total interest costs. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and start completing the tables. In this case, they ask us for the minimum and the maximum of each of these decisions. We have the 1 year, 3 year, and 30 year. So let's start with the 1 year. Go ahead and type equal min and do this. And then max. There we go. Same for the 3 year, min and max. Now here, min. And one more time, max. Once you do that, you can go ahead and start completing the second table. In this case, we're dealing with opportunity losses. So to do this, we use the following formula: equals the cell we're referencing minus the minimum of this column, which is rates rise. It's gonna give you an alert because I didn't close the parentheses. So let's go ahead and close it and press enter so we can get the result and drag it. Now let's do the same for the 3. So 3 minus the minimum of this column. Now let's make sure to close the parentheses. Go ahead and drag the answer. So out of fields. And go ahead and type equals the cell we're referencing minus the minimum of the column. There we go. Now drag the answer and we have our table. So now we can begin completing part 2. So for part 2, we're gonna use our cheat sheet to guess which ones we need. Right, so I apologize for that. There was a glitch that was not showing the text. So let's go ahead and use our cheat sheet to see what we should be doing. So which is the minimum among the smallest. These two are also minimum. This would not be the same if the type of decision problem was to maximize the objective. In this case, it's minimize, so I'm going off of those values. So this would be largest, and this would be largest, because you want to have the minimum value among the largest losses, so you don't incur on a greater loss. Okay, so now we can go ahead and fill out the rest. And to do that, all we need to do is start building a little table right here. So let's do equals min, because we're looking for the minimum of this column. It's gonna give us the 51,500 value. So let's go ahead and fill this so we can get the other results. And as you can see, this is the smallest among the minimum. So let's go ahead and type 51,500. And here, okay, yeah, sure. And then we can go ahead and type equals, not equals, sorry, we can select the 1 year ARM. We don't have to reference it. So now let's go ahead and do the largest value. So let's look for the largest value. So to look for the largest value, we have to use the max function instead of the min. So let's go ahead and change this into a max table. So it's max. And then go ahead and fill. Don't mind the zeros. This is because there's a space. As you can see, the minimum among the largest would be 66,000. So let's go ahead and type this value, 66,000. And it's using the 3. No, my bad, the 30-year fixed strategy. And let's go ahead and clean this so we don't have any noise. And then lastly, we have to use the using opportunity loss strategy. So in this case, we're looking for the minimum among the largest. So once again, we have to do max and then drag this, press enter, drag this down. And this will give you the value that we're looking for. In this case, the minimum among the largest is 9,500. So let's go ahead and type this value right here. And of course, now we have everything done. So all that's left to do is do part 3, part 4, and part 5, which is just using different formulas to get the standard deviation and an average, and lastly, expected value. And I'll teach you how to do that in a minute. So let's go ahead and start for a minute. So let's do this real quick. We just have to do the standard deviation function as always. So stdv dot s, because we're working with a sample of the 1 year, and then of the 3 year, and lastly of the 30-year fixed. Once we have that, it asks us what is the decision of the greater risk. Of course, the standard deviation here is 0 because they are the same numbers, so there's not really much standard deviation. And which decision has the greater risk? Well, since we're talking about the payoffs for each decision, what we should look for is actually which one has the greater risk. So in this case, we should look for the higher number, and so it's the 1 ARM. So there we go. Now we have to do the average for each and every single one of the strategies. So let's go ahead and type average. And let's do this for the 1 year. Let's do the same for the 3 year. Lastly, let's do it for the 30-year fixed. So average, and then 30-year fixed. And that would be it. And so since we want to save the most money, we would have to choose the first option, because the other ones are higher numbers, meaning higher costs for the market. Now for the expected value, we have to use the function of a sum product. So let's go ahead and type sum product. And the two arrays that we're going to choose is first the decision that you're dealing with, and then the probabilities of rates rising, being stable, or falling. So let's go ahead and type enter. And now we can do the same for the 3 year and for the 30 year. Let's type sum product, tab, and then array 1, which is the decision, and array 2, which is the probabilities. Close the parentheses, press enter, and then let's do the same one more time for the other values. So 30-year fixed, go ahead and select this, comma, and one more time, probabilities, close parentheses. We're almost over with. So what should be our final decision using the expected value strategy? So let's go ahead and see the options, and the options are 1 year, 3 year, or 30 years. So which one should we use? Exactly. One more time, we're talking about mortgages, so we are looking for the smallest value to help this family. So in this case, it would be the 1 year ARM with 63,400. So let's go ahead and type that. And as you can see, the exercise is complete. Let's check the answers to see if we did everything correctly. So this will be part 2. There seemed to be something wrong in part 2. Let me go ahead and check what's happening over here. Maybe I typed the value wrong, which I don't think so. Minimum largest, 3 ERM. Oh, I see what's going on here. All right, so in part 5, it seems that I forgot to select this strategy, but it corresponds to the, let's see, the 3-year ARM. Right here you can see 9,500, 3-year ARM. And we can go ahead and delete this as well. And if we go back to the answer sheet, you can see that everything is 100%. We have done everything correctly, and so we are on to the next question.